the mystery of Dulce, New Mexico, and the Archuleta Mesa, and of course the Redding War Ranch. I'd like to take a quick look at the geographic region of northern New Mexico, right around the town of Dulce, New Mexico. Now, many of you who've stumbled onto this video because you were searching the Archuleta Mesa or deep underground bases or Paul Bennewitz, you're probably familiar with the Archuleta Mesa. And that's the area that most books talk about being the site of a deep underground base. And Paul Bennewitz is the researcher credited with discovering that. And there's much folklore surrounding that. And I'd like to cut through that and get to what I believe is really the heart of this mystery. And that is the area that's actually slightly north of the Archuleta Mesa on the other side, on the border of southern Colorado and northern New Mexico. I personally stumbled onto this area by accident by trying to find any roads that went all the way around the mesa, and in the process, I stumbled onto this ranch on the north side of the mesa called the Redding War Ranch. And at the time, I didn't put much thought into it because I did find it strange that a ranch would have guard towers, but we continued past this area because we were looking for a military base. Now, we were followed for a little bit by a white pickup truck with red and blue flashing lights, and it was a one-lane road, so we really couldn't get out of the way. But to this day, I wonder if we were being politely encouraged to move on from this ranch area. Now, the entire edge of this ranch, the tree line area that leads into the forest, is dotted with these what appear to be guard towers. And you'll notice at close-up viewing, these appear to have bulletproof windows and are steel constructed. So this would be ideal if you wanted to hide out and make sure the locals didn't shoot at you if they found out you were stealing their cows. But these are all over the place, and they're way too close together to be deer stands, as other researchers have claimed. So I find this area very compelling. I also think it's interesting that in the mid-50s, Look magazine reported that the U.S. Air Force was proposing the idea of secret aircraft, saucer-shaped aircraft, being stored in underground silos or airports that would fly out of camouflaged entrances in the mountains. And what has been reported in and around Dulce, New Mexico is very similar to what Look magazine was reporting in the 50s. I believe this area was used as a virtual playground of the intelligence agencies and aerospace companies for testing exotic new aircraft, testing psychological warfare operations, and possibly the most sensitive of all secrets, testing of biological and chemical weapons. And that brings us to this military review article that proposed back in the 70s this idea of the possibility of ethnic-specific chemical weapons. Chemical weapons that would be designed to target specific ethnicities. And this lines up with the allegations of Project Coast out of South Africa. During the Truth and Reconciliation trials they had, Project Coast was revealed, and this was a program that was searching for a biological weapon that could be used against the South African black population by the white minority. That would explain why there is so much disinformation surrounding this area. If you dig into this and you do any kind of Google searches or YouTube video searches, the main thing you're going to find out is absurd tales of deep underground bases that are just literally hives of extraterrestrials or little gray aliens or interdimensional beings or something like that. But you'll find very little on the subject of clandestine weapons testing or covert operations in this area. And that, when you talk to the locals, you'll find that almost everyone will have some kind of story about very strange paramilitary activity happening in this area. Now, I want to close with this. In light of that, any of you watching this who've stumbled onto this in searches for underground bases and that sort of thing, I would love to hear some of your theories about this, because I by no means claim to have cornered the truth on this, but I really do think that there is a reason for all of the disinformation surrounding this area, and I think that reason is to disguise the truth of chemical, biological weapons testing and exotic psychological warfare operations. So So if you have any thoughts on this area, or if you have any anecdotes from this area, or have heard anything firsthand or secondhand stories about this area, I'd love to hear them in the comment section. Or if perhaps you're an alumnus of the Redding War Ranch and maybe you have some stories to tell, I'd love to hear about them. So please comment below, and thanks for watching, and thanks for indulging my speculation.